Friends, one of the reasons why I don't complain about the current state of video games is because indie developers will remedy any problems I have. If I have a problem with the current trend or lack of in AAA games, indie games will rectify. If indie games won't capture the greatness of yesteryear, I'll revisit the classics. If the nostalgia isn't hitting, then I'll see what the new releases have to offer. Thus, it creates a healthy cycle. Around we go. Considering I am a product of a bygone era of gaming, or at least that's how a company like Nintendo looks at me, the chances are relatively slim that I will see another AAA level Star Fox game released. I mention this considering the last entry isn't exactly something that was well received, both from a financial and reception standpoint. For what it's worth, I didn't hate Star Fox Zero. Sure, I can understand that the planet vehicle segments weren't the most fun. However, once two people got a hold of the two-player gunner and pilot mechanic, it made for a cool combination, leaving the game with untapped potential. Dare I say it was underrated even? But I digress. The fact is, Nintendo doesn't prioritize Star Fox like it does with heavy hitters such as Mario, Donkey Kong, or Zelda, which is really sad considering it's one of those IPs, outside of a good line of dormant Nintendo franchises, that could use some serious love. Taking into consideration the few that would benefit from a much-needed hiatus, I can hear your complaints now, though. Studded, please don't make this episode a Nintendo hit piece! Oh no. That'll be saved for a future episode. Rather, I will pivot by showcasing why indie games and indie development are the true renaissance in gaming we deserve. Because indie developers share the same frustrations fans do, and decide to actually put their controller where their skills are. Enter Ex Zodiac, a fitting tribute to the Star Fox-style rail shooter, while also paying tribute to Sega Space Harrier, with even some love to Panzer Dragoon thrown in. That's right, friends. Developer M-Key and publisher Pixel Jam didn't just pay tribute to a Nintendo IP, but also a Sega one. Something that would make a child of the 90s go absolutely batshit, while a child of the 2000s just shrug it off like it's nothing. As a prerequisite to this review, Ex Zodiac is currently in early access. For console gamers, that means it's not done, just so everyone is clear on that. Okay, before you cry DLC here, you are getting 10 levels and 10 bonus levels out of the gate, with free levels added on with each update. So that's more than enough for me to recommend it. Ex Zodiac is a throwback rail shooter that takes you through vibrant levels loaded with enemies. The story is as straightforward as it needs to be. Join protagonist Kyu as she fights to free the world of the Sanzu star system, overrun by the intergalactic terrorist organization known as Zodiac. Yes, I did pull that from a Google search, as it's hard to summarize the story beyond that. It's told entirely through the text of the characters and the descriptions of the planets. One thing to be gathered from the members of Zodiac is that they all seem to represent authority in different ways. So you could say that our main gal, Kyu, is anti-establishment. The game plays just like the classic Super Nintendo Star Fox most of us know and love, flying on rails and shooting everything in sight. Each environment provides a good distinction of enemies. Some places have ships, while other places have creatures. Sometimes you'll take out robots, while other times you'll literally be fighting the cops.
The police coming straight from the underground.
Most missions will have you flying, with a nice freeway run on a speeder bike to mix things up. You have a wide array of locales, like an ocean planet, an asteroid field, a factory ship, and fire level. Listen, some hate water levels, I hate fire. We are not the same. If you remember from earlier, I had mentioned bonus stages. Well, if you manage to find the data chips in the actual levels, you unlock those bonus stages, known as cyberspace. They literally pay tribute to Space Harrier. It's a fantastic touch that further solidifies Ex Zodiac's love letter status to the classics. As anyone who grew up in this era of gaming knows, the soundtracks are top tier. You could have the worst playing game in existence. If the soundtrack slaps, it damn near makes up for it. So with this in mind, how's the soundtrack here? Well, friends? Nothing more to say, friends. Having a great soundtrack will elevate any game. Just listen to the Cheetahman theme. It's the only redeeming thing about that piece of shit. So, in conclusion, Ex Zodiac is an excellent throwback game. With its foundation set in a genre severely neglected, it's a great reminder of why I love indie games and why I started this series. Indie developers will keep alive what corporations won't.